Some asserts an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. They say if someone commits violence towards you, you should revenge them with violence. Also, that can be justified as a legal defense. Do you think this is right? No, I don't think this is right. I insist violence should not be accepted. Like legal defense, violence causes another violence, and finally, this kind of thing brings out a war. The most important thing to prevent violence is non-violence. Violence is continuous, inevitable. On the other hand, non-violence is flexible. Non-violence doesn't seem to influence society much. Do you agree? But it has indescribable power. We can verify this in some historic events. There are not many non-violent movements, but there were some tries. First of all, March 1st movement, Korean independence movement. This movement occurred in 1919 against Japanese rule. This was pure non-violence movement. This was really small movement, but it achieved a lot of things, and it changed a lot of things. For example, this led to establishment of provisional government, a Republic of Korea, and through these movements, Japan changed their way of ruling Korea. Second is Mahatma Gandhi's work. Mahatma Gandhi's work is a wonderful example of non-violent movements. During British colonial period of India, Mahatma Gandhi did a non-violence insubordination campaign. He did a boycott of the goods made in Britain in order to confront against British Empire, which raised price in India. And he led Indians to spin on the spinning wheel to produce cotton goods without importing them from Britain. Against law of salt passed by Britain, Mahatma Gandhi did a salt march. With this kind of works, Gandhi and Indians finally achieved India's independence. In these progresses, Gandhi didn't use violence at all and peacefully achieved his goal. Third, Martin Luther King Jr. He was a pastor and a human rights advocate. He participated and started many campaigns. Martin Luther King Jr. led a boycott of the Montgomery, Alabama bus system. This started because a black woman refused to yield her seat on a bus to a white man. Finally, this boycott brought a change in the bus regulations. King continued to lead nonviolent protests and spoke out against racial discrimination. He led Washington Grand March and gave out the famous "I Have a Dream" speech. Therefore, two new laws passed. The Civil Rights Act made discrimination illegal, and it ended racial discrimination in public places. And finally, through these historic events, people could realize that the society would be changed by non-violent movements. But even these days, armed clashes are still occurring in various places on earth. Still, people think only violent action can affect the world. But when people learn how to solve a problem peacefully, and the indescribable power of non-violence from the history, the world we live can be a harmonious place.